Well, hello there, everyone. It's great to be back with YourTV as I provide another update for the city of Belleville as we deal with these COVID-19 times. And this week's update is for the week of July 5th, 2021. And it's now not just a second lap through the whole COVID thing, but it's hard to believe that we're through June and we're now into July as we move along. Today, I am coming from the newly renovated City Council chambers. Work is not yet complete, so you may hear some of it in the background, but I wanted everyone to have a chance to be able to see the bright new colors in here. This council chambers have not been upgraded since '98, since the renovation of City Hall, which added a third and fourth floor, and it's functioned very well. But we really were falling behind from an accessibility point of view, both for members of council as well as for the public and the responsibilities we have under the Act, but also from an information technology point of view. So all the wiring and everything else that was sort of added on over the years, we really hadn't ever addressed it. So council chambers look really good. It's much better lit. We have seen record numbers of people watching our meetings. So the streaming services, we've taken steps to upgrade that. We've also prepared for what's called electronic voting. And what that means is that councillors will be able to use a voting platform, which will actually say or press a button to show if we're in favor or support. And that record will be available for everybody in the future. If you've been watching city council meetings on YourTV, you'll know that sometimes we have what's called a recorded vote. And that is where, if somebody asks for a recorded vote, that's where you can show how individual councillors have voted in the past. Moving forward, when we have electronic voting up and going, we will have all of our votes being recorded. So members of the community can hold us accountable for how we voted or how we didn't vote, according to what your position is on it. But we're very excited about these renovations. We use council chambers on June 28th for the swearing-in ceremony of the new fire chief, Monique Bolaire. And here is a picture of that swearing-in. But then we had to go back to virtual because we're not ready for this. We are planning on having the July 12th council meeting here in person, again, back in council chambers. And we're just trying to finalize some details today, but we'll make a decision. We're trying our very best to get back to having council meetings in person, socially distanced, of course, but in the next little while. So I always start off my videos talking about our most recent numbers. And so as of July the 7th this week, we had 0 new active cases. And that brings us to a total of 6 active COVID cases in our region. There are no people, 0 in hospital, 0 in the intensive care unit, 0 people on a ventilator, and we have 0 outbreaks in our region. So that's excellent news. And since the beginning of this COVID pandemic back in March of 2020, so almost about 15 months ago, we've had 1,134 cases of COVID. Most concerning is we've got 499 variants of concern as of July the 7th. And so that is that variant that we're all concerned about. And so again, the best thing we can do, in addition to some news I'll share now on vaccines, but the best thing we can do is follow those 3 W's: wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance from others. And that is the best thing we can do. The great news is vaccinations, and we are through 115,268 people who have received their first dose. That takes us to a 77% figure of people who have gotten their first dose. Second doses, so fully vaccinated, we are now at 60,806, which is a 41% of our total population. That's people who are fully vaccinated with their second dose. That's fantastic news, great numbers, and we'll see that continue to climb. In the last 4 weeks, getting their second dose, double vaccinated, we've had 45,846 people in our healthcare region health unit region receive those second doses, which is absolutely outstanding. And that puts us in really, really good shape as we move forward. Of course, we're now in what's called step 2 of the reopening plans in Ontario. We hope to have some more news in about a couple of weeks that we can move to step 3. But our vaccination numbers certainly justify it. We're doing so well. I'm so proud of everybody in our community. Thank you very much for everything, and keep up the great work. Last week, Canada Day was with us, and it was a very different Canada Day, one in which we were not just appreciative and celebrating our wonderful country and how lucky we are to be Canadians, but it was also one in which we reflected upon some of our past and some items that we're not so proud of. And I was very, very pleased to be part of both sides of that. Including an opportunity to recognize some of our community heroes. And those are people who have gone above and beyond. They've worked in the front lines, and the Belleville Chamber of Commerce organized those activities. I was at West Zwicks Park on July the 1st, along with MP Neil Ellis and MPP Todd Smith, and we presented certificates to these individuals who really have done a great job. And then afterwards, we did a little bit of a parade. We called it our Hearts for Heroes, where we had a little procession that went around to long-term care homes, to the hospital, to some seniors apartments, where we were able to share Canada Day greetings. And it really was heartwarming to see people, such huge smiles. And I know that at some of these long-term care homes where residents have not being able to go out as much as others have gone in the community, it meant the world to them that we drove by and we said hello. And I want to thank the Belleville Chamber of Commerce for doing such a great job this year. And we're all looking forward to going back to more traditional big community celebrations in 2022. And I can tell you right now that we will have the biggest Canada Day celebration next year that we've seen in the city of Belleville, and look forward to that. There was some sad news also earlier last week, and you may have heard about the unfortunate accident at Meyers Pier, where a vehicle went off the pier. And unfortunately, Larry Tillander, who was a security guard working that evening, was killed. And on Saturday, I was able to attend a memorial for him, organized by his family and his friends. And our condolences go to the family. Larry was a great guy. I had met him a few times as he worked security at different events around the city. But the stories of other people talking about him were really, really terrific. And, it is sad, so sad that we've lost such a great community person, but he made such an impact in his life. And we certainly wish the family all the best. And I'm happy to report that charges were laid against the driver last week, and the police will go through their full investigation. And I know that justice will be seen in this case. It's just unfortunate that it took the life of a great guy like Larry. If you were down in Meyers Pier on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, you would have seen the extensive damage from that accident that occurred. And I just want to congratulate and say thank you to our wonderful staff, operations, as well as our recreation departments, who repaired it and got it back into operation to allow the restaurant to reopen, but also that people can use Meyers Pier. And so thank you everybody for doing that. Here is a picture of my first meeting with Jennifer Lyons, the new curator for the Glanmore National Historic Site. And while Ms. Lyons started earlier this year, I believe her first time was in January, I hadn't had a chance to meet with her because of COVID and everything else. And so today I had a chance to meet with her and talk about what a wonderful jewel we have in the Glanmore National Historic Site, and how prior to COVID, we were seeing such an increase in people visiting and taking advantage of all the history that's there. We have plans for expansion. One of the things that I learned about Glanmore from last term is that there are over 10,000 documents, artifacts, I should say, 10,000 artifacts that are unrelated to the National Glanmore Historic Site. And so we have nowhere to we have nowhere to display them. We have nowhere to show them to members of the community. And so we are looking for plans for a feasibility study for a museum here in Belleville. and we'll keep working on it. But Jennifer Lyons is a great person to come in and take the work that Rona Ambrose had done for so many years to the next stage. And we really look forward to working with her and all the staff at Glanmore. And we look forward to step 3, when they will be able to reopen to the public as well. You may be aware that we are doing a survey right now on ward boundaries, and previously I've spoken about the fact that since 1998, we have had 2 wards in Belleville, 2 what we call unbalanced or unequal wards. There are 2 councillors elected in Thurlow Ward and 6 councillors elected in Belleville Ward. And over the years, the city has changed a great deal. It's grown by 30%. We're taking a look now at how we elect councillors in these wards. There is a proposal to move from the current 2 unbalanced, unequal wards to a 4-ward system, which would be equal and balanced, meaning that there would be 2 councillors elected in each of the 4 wards. And that would be no change in councillors, so we wouldn't have any extra or any reductions. The mayor would be elected at large in all 4 wards, as well as school board people. But right now we are trying to get canvassing feedback from residents. So here is a website that you can go to, and you can see a short 3.5-minute video, which kind of explains the concept and the reasons why a 4-ward concept may be something that people would want to see. And then there's a short survey afterwards that we're asking people to participate in. So I'd encourage you to go and take a look at this informative video, sort of putting the case for why we want to see these changes, as well as participate in that survey. It's open until August the 5th, I believe. And we encourage people, and I'll continue to remind it, and you'll see more information about how to get onto that survey, including in the upcoming Belleville magazine that will be completed around the middle of the month and out to everybody's homes. And the last thing I just wanted to talk about this week was I'm really excited. We were supposed to, in the middle of the week, do a groundbreaking ceremony for the new building of the Humane Society of Hastings and Prince Edward. And if you've ever been to the Quinte Humane Society's current shelter, you will realize how desperately they need a new facility. And the cities of Belleville and Quinte West, we stepped up with $1 million loans each to get them to this the next stage. They've got about a $5.5 million building that will be going. They've raised about 3.5 million. So Belleville and Quinte West, we offered to help them with a loan for the other 2 million to get this project underway. And on Friday this week, we are going to be doing the groundbreaking. So that'll be July the 9th. And there'll be an official groundbreaking because of the rain that was expected earlier. And we're so looking forward to that project getting going. We are a caring community, not just for each other, but also for our animals, and the Humane Society of Hastings and Prince Edward do a great job, and congratulations everybody that's involved there. So that's my update for this week from the partially completed new chambers of Belleville City Council. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week and a great weekend, and I'll be back in touch next week after a council meeting as I provide another update for the city of Belleville as we deal with COVID-19. Take care.